Welcome to Tuned In with the Sunday Spins. This is Tuned In with the Sunday Spins, a collection of curated conversations, extended cuts, and deeper dives into what makes the all-record radio show go. I'm your host, Adam Walker, and though I may be the resident solo selector for the Sunday Spins live shows and streams, Tuned In won't just be yours truly on the ones and twos. Think of this as a modern-day variety show with a vintage twist. A complement to the live streams, if you will, where we showcase videos, interviews, classic conversations, music appreciation, history lessons, and more. It's going to be a mixed bag, so get ready. You can get tuned in wherever you love to boogie on the internet. If you're a visual human, you can enjoy full videos on YouTube. Just search for The Sunday Spins. If you're more of a podcast cat, you can listen to Tuned In episodes on Spotify. Just search Tuned In Sunday Spins and be sure to hit follow so you get notified every time we release something new. For episode 1, I sit down with longtime pal and music lover Jason Smith of the soon-to-be-released ESLE magazine. For this pilot episode, Jason actually flips the script and interviews me. Go figure, right? We had to start somewhere. So why not start by digging into the first 6 months of the show? Yes, it's been 6 months. Its origins, inspirations, and experiences to date. So this one's a little over an hour. Not every episode's going to be that long. There's going to be some bite-sized stuff, some longer stuff. So feel free to come back to this if you need to break it up. This one was fun to do. So I hope you enjoy listening to it as much as we had filming and recording it. Thanks. Oh, and make sure you share on the internet somehow, whatever you do. Welcome to Tuned In with the Sunday Spins and what is soon to be ESLE magazine. So for those of you that don't know, my name is Adam Walker. I'm your resident selector on the Sunday Spins, and this over here, depending on which way you're looking at this guy is Jason Smith, one of my best friends, a wizard, a musical savant, a guy that I can talk music with for a long, long time, but we're going to try and keep it condensed for this. So I didn't really come up with a formal intro for Tuned In either, other than this is just a way to enjoy a little bit of extended content from the Sunday Spins. The Sunday Spins obviously is a weekly record radio show that I've decided to host when quarantine started, and quarantine is still a thing, so apparently this is still a thing too, and hopefully a thing long after quarantine is done. But yeah, I play records in my kitchen every Sunday. Some of you that are probably watching this obviously know this by now, but a lot of folks have tuned in since the beginning. Some people are just joining, so Jason and I were brainstorming a fun way to kind of, I don't know, keep the vibe alive midweek, or if it's not Sunday, you know. Every day can't be Sunday, right?
Unfortunately.
But yeah, I think the goal of Tuned In, if there are goals here, is just a way to talk shop, talk story. Tuned In means being tuned into just all kinds of sources of inspiration, culture, arts, music. The goal, again, is to have different guests on the show, maybe some reoccurring ones. Learn some stuff, share some stuff.
I think it's a great idea, and I'm super stoked to be a part of it, and I'm glad that we can come together on this sweaty afternoon and share a drink and share some talk.
Cheers to that, sir. Well, without further ado, I guess now that the crew knows what the heck's at stake here, I guess, I don't know, if you want question number one. Should we do like a game show?
Yeah, we should. In door number 1, we have we shouldn't do that.
Okay.
But I know that we had talked about episodes and having, an idea behind an episode. And when you said, what the is the Sunday Spins? I loved it. Because truthfully, what the is the Sunday Spins? I get asked that all the time because I'm reposting things and people are like, what are these weird videos? What is this countdown to? So if you could, for those who have not had the pleasure of joining us on a Sunday in our sweaty houses while we boogie to the tunes of Adam Walker, if you could please just describe in your own, grandma elevator pitch, what is the Sunday?
Well, it depends how many floors you want this elevator to go. But essentially, also I love the what the is the Sunday Spins reference, because it's from that Who the is Mick Jagger shirt that Keith Richards wore. And Two big musical influences for me. The Sunday Spins is essentially it's a radio show, kind of, I guess. It's a hybrid of a few things. I basically play records from my personal collection in my kitchen. That's where keep all my records. It's also the most fun place to hang out in my house. And normally, like when the world is not upside down, friends, family, various humans will cruise through, and we just play records in my kitchen. It brings us together. It's something that we kind of all love doing sporadically. And so when we couldn't do that, and we were all stuck in our houses or stuck wherever we are, it was just kind of I did it on a whim, I think. Just like, I'm going to go live and play some records. Like, didn't have a plan. Still really don't. And it's just a way for like maybe an hour to come together. I try and always pick the first few songs. Like Sundays, I guess, for me are music. It's just a different kind of music day. It's like oldies and Aretha Franklin and just that feel good stuff when you're either in your house being lazy or doing laundry. So that was kind of the vibe. And I go, I bet I'm not the only one with this, like, that likes this vibe. Like, what's the worst could happen? Nobody watches. Okay, cool. And then it's
Yeah.
just kind of like started to grow from there. I think it feels like it is a little bit. And
Yeah.
then people had fun and tuned in, and I did it again the next week and picked out like, a dozen or so songs. And I think a lot of the first couple episodes were like really funk and disco heavy. Like,
Yeah.
aside from the Aretha and the Stevie Wonder cuts and the soul jams, James Brown stuff, like there is a lot of boogieing in there because heavy times this year, man. So it was nice to get an
Has
out.
been.
Yeah, and still it is. So
Yeah,
it's
100%.
kind of a nice little mental break, a little exhale for everybody to come and be silly for however long they can tune in. So that's what the fuck the Sunday Spins is.
Yeah, I mean that.
I mean, I still don't
No,
really
it's true.
know. It's like it's always changing. I think that's what's fun too. Is it like it just kind of happened by accident. So I think
Yeah.
a lot of it's off the cuff and improvised, and I don't just like put records on and like stand there. I also don't scratch records. I'm not a DJ,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
like
100%.
I'm just playing tunes that if we were like riding in my car and we were going down PCH, like I'm just playing you whatever I'm hyped on in that moment.
Yeah.
So it's
I think
cool.
that's my favorite part about it. Like given the current situation that everybody's in, right? There's no concerts, there's no anything, right? How are you finding new music if you're not able to go out and experience it? And then being, friends with you and having that always be available to me where I can just like come over and we can geek out and talk music and put something on and be like, oh, look, I picked up this new record. What do you think? Or, oh, I got these weird bootlegs. What do you think? And I was like, dude, where did you find this? Also, why haven't I heard this before? But now I'm not getting any new music other than the Sunday Spins and Danger Mouse. So the fact that you're on par with Danger Mouse in quarantine, that's saying something. That's,
Oof.
and I can't be the only person who's, finding all the music that they need
Right.
currently through you. So I thank you for, inviting everybody in and allowing us all to stand in your kitchen with you while you wear close to no shorts.
The shorts have gotten shorter as it's gone on.
They have.
I think the first couple times I had this like super thick. I got this rad pair of yellow overalls that I'm sure everybody remembers that I was like wearing the first couple shows, and it was like, is he gonna wear these every time? And I was like, no, because it's so hot. Like, the wardrobe throughout the Sunday Spins has flowed, and maybe the music has too. I went back the other day and looked through some of those playlists and looked through like a chronicle on all, right? Like I think there's if you did 22 times about 15, you're looking at like 330 songs essentially, and with the exception of Boogie Wonderland and Africa by Toto, no song has been played twice.
Yeah.
Which is cool, and I still got about a million more records to go through.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. Do you have a rough estimate on how many records you have in your house?
I do, and only because I recently decided that I've really run out of room. So it's more of like to solve a problem. Like, okay, if I build new cabinets or have somebody build new cabinets, like how many records do I need to fit? And it's without sitting there and going 1, 2. It's roughly between 1,200 and 1,500 records, I think. I
That's quite a few.
I took a tape measure and I
Oh
measured
yeah, yeah,
a foot, and then on average how many records fit
yeah,
in like a foot, and it's about, I think it was about 75, maybe. And that's if it's not a precise thing because it's not about numbers, but it's
yeah.
like,
That's a heat ton. Like for those who have not been able to stand in its presence,
oh,
like no, I'm not shitting you. Like it's pretty gnarly. It's borderline intimidating. Every time I go to your house, I look at it and I go, "What do I want him to play?" Because I could literally sit there for hours
right.
and just keep going and going. And I obviously miss that we can't do that anymore, but allowing you to kind of hand select everything and
Oh,
do your own thing has been quite the joy and pleasure to watch.
oh, thanks, buddy. That means a lot.
Yeah.
It's very kind of you. Um it's funny. I never like, it never happened on purpose, right? Like I didn't go, I want
Yeah.
to have this many records, but I don't know.
Yeah.
It's I've been collecting for probably a dozen years. I started in college, I think, was when I really kind of had some time, and I would drive to OB and go to Cal Records, and just hit the dollar bin, and it was like, wait, this
Yeah.
is fun. Like this is different, and the shop wasn't a big shop, but it was kind of always uncrowded, so I kind of just had my little solo time to just be a weirdo and explore. That's the biggest thing, is it's just an exploration. I'm just stoked that
Yeah.
now people are like along for the ride, because
Yeah, for sure.
it brings me so much joy and so much satisfaction to like go through it all. Not just the records I
Yeah.
have, but like what don't I have, or what can I, because for me, looking at other people's collections and looking at like going into record stores and talking to record store owners, that wall feels tiny to me
Yeah.
compared to
Yeah, for
some.
sure.
You
Of
know,
course.
Brian Bielman jumped on last week's show.
Uh-huh.
Huge influence on me, and half probably a big reason why I have so much is because you walked into that guy's house and he had like floor to ceiling, two
Yeah.
full walls, and just immaculate and the craziest sound system I'd ever heard. And we walked
Yeah, I
in there
remember
and
you
he was like,
showing me that.
and so Uncle Bielman, if you're watching this, thank you, because and you guys can blame him. You know, I think my bank account's probably like, okay, bro, like
That's enough.
factory records again this week. You're like, yeah, I can't stop.
I feel you, man. It's an addiction, but it's kind of like a weird thing, right?
Mm.
Like for me, at least, I was the same as you. I didn't have vinyl until college. I think is when I started going out and being like, I like this record enough. I'm sick of pirating everything on LimeWire. Probably shouldn't say that. Feds don't come after us. But yeah, and I had all these old CDs, and I still have all my old CDs. Like I'm looking at them right now. I have an old Nirvana bootleg that my mom got me in Russia in like '98.
Cool.
Still have those things,
So
but
sick.
but I wanted to have something different. Like I didn't want to have my mom's records. I didn't want to have things that I wanted to go out and find everything. And I think that's what I really like about it. But it can be super intimidating. As you're saying, like the wall is immaculate. Where do you start? What was your first record?
Whoa, good question. I think the first record I ever remember buying with my own money was in college, and I bought Disraeli Gear by Cream
Nice,
because it was one of my dad's favorite records. Like, I
nice.
think my stepdad had given me an old turntable, this Kenwood turntable from the 80s
Yeah,
in college, and he had maybe given me like a couple records with that. I can't remember, but he gave me this like weird little setup where I could plug it into my computer speakers, and then yeah, I think I went to Cal Records and bought Disraeli Gears by Cream, and Sunshine of Your Love is on that, and boom 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 bow bow
that's
bow.
a pretty good start.
In college, like, come
Yeah,
on,
100%.
you're
You're playing
getting
it all the time.
you're like jumping in a time machine. And I used to just sit in my
Yeah,
room and draw to those records
yeah,
and stuff
yeah.
and paint. I was still painting a bunch, which is cool. So like, yeah, that one kind of started it, and then I grabbed out of Cal, I'll never forget it. And this is what started the Stones kick really heavy, was I bought Hot Rocks. It's the first one, like the uh 64 to 72, so it's a comp,
Okay.
and it was like
Good
crackly.
years.
Oh, great year. The first song is Time Is on My Side. So like
That's a pretty darn good song. It's one of my favorites.
it like I get dude, I literally got
goosebumps. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
Come on, Zoom.
Just thinking about it.
Can you get? No, I seriously did, because like you think about that first part of
Yeah.
that song, and it's like this really high pitch,
Yeah. Yeah.
like, and the crackle, and I was like, oh, I'm hooked. Like,
Much higher than that.
yeah. Sorry, the
I can't get there.
the Sunday Spins it's a low voice. The show is done in a low register. I don't do the high notes. This ain't no Whitney Houston show, but she's sick too.
Should be.
She's sick too. I don't actually have any Whitney on vinyl, which is weird.
I don't either, but I feel like everybody should. So that's the week's mission. We both have to go out and buy Whitney Houston albums.
Whitney's legendary, but I love that we can talk about the Stones and Whitney Houston in the same sentence.
That's what's so sick about the Sunday Spins, you know? Like, nothing is, at least to me, I don't feel, nothing is, you know, too out there or like too mainstream to be cool, you know? Like, you can play Toto, right? You can play that song and follow it up with James Brown, and yeah, that goes together. Why not?
I don't know, because DJs, because the institution of I think what people have come to get used to in music is that, like, you know, I mean, it's like, it's weird because there's like a lot of fundamentals that I've had to learn.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially like beat matching or like pitch control, like all that stuff is so gnarly. Like, I've got so much. That's what's so weird about it, is like I have so much respect for the people that can do that, because it's like it's gnarly. Like, to be a true DJ is so crazy. People are like, oh yeah, my buddy Adam's DJing, and I'm like,
yeah,
I'm not a DJ. Like, I don't know. I like don't identify as that, I guess, and
not a DJ.
but like, not a DJ, but like my buddy Duffy, huge supporter, in the sense that like will rap out behind the scenes and kind of give me tips or ideas or support or encouragement or reaffirm some things, whatever. And he came up with this notion of like, yeah, you're not a DJ. That's cool. And I was like, wait, what? Like, I thought that's what if you play music to people, you're a DJ. He's like, no, you could be a selector. And I was like, a selector? And the selector is somebody that was feeding the DJ back, you know, when either hip hop and kind of rap music first started, DJs and big parties. The selector would feed the disc jockey, the guy that was actually scratching and stuff. He would feed the DJ, who's got all the technical skills with the fader and the he's feeding him the songs and reading the crowd, and he could jump on the mic and he could get on the turntables if he wanted to, but he wasn't like the main guy. He was kind of like the little sensei behind the scenes, and I'm like, that's the superhero that I have on my wall, like, metaphorically.
100%,
That's what I want to. So, like, how do you go from Africa by Toto straight into Nina Simone and make it work? Can you? What environment do you have to create where that is like a thing? So it makes me happy to hear that the Sunday Spins potentially has permission to play with that a little bit. But I also do want to, I don't know, I also do want to like make sure that I'm respectful to the fundamentals of it, because it is
of course.
Like, there's so much great stuff out there, and I don't know, talking to other DJs, it makes me like, oh hey, like, yeah, I play records and I let the whole song play.
yeah. But that's sick, man. As you were saying before, when you play an album, I like that you play full songs. I like that you're not a DJ, because everybody wants to be a DJ. Everybody's like, I can scratch, I can, beat match EDM songs and make it go forever, and I create this. And it's like, no, Adam and the Sunday Spins is not doing that. Adam and the Sunday Spins is just inviting you in to his curation for your Sunday. And I love it. I love it. It's super cool. And I think, honestly, like, given everything going on, and obviously we're still kind of in a quarantine, but post-quarantine, I'll say it here, I don't want it to end. I don't want it to end. Week 22, week 23, week 340, it's going to be like The Office.
I mean,
9 seasons later.
Yeah, that's the goal, I guess. Am I Michael Scott in that, or am I Kevin? I want to be Kevin in that.
I don't know if you're Michael Scott.
I want to drop the giant bowl of chili. I want to be if this is The Office, I want to be Kevin for sure. No, I'm with you, dude. I think the evolution of the show, I think, is something that I both actively think about a lot, and then it just kind of go with the flow and let whatever happens happens. I think that's largely in my nature, just as a person, is the reactionary, like impromptu nature that I have, or like being quick on my feet has always been something that has come second nature to me, I guess. But that's the thing, is that like I love the immediacy of it, and I love this, even though it's planned every week, like, because I mean, we got to have a little bit of structure.
Yeah, for sure.
But like, it is very much meant to be an intimate thing and an immediate thing where every week's a little different, and hopefully something you're either hearing something new, not necessarily maybe like a new song, because it's not the nature of the show, but like old songs, like new meaning like you've never heard it before, because a lot of the stuff that I play is older music, you know, from the 60s all the way on up, and we'll put some new tracks in there from, you know, Chicano Batmans and Electric Guests, or I just ordered a Lord Echo record finally.
Nice.
I bit the bullet, I got it. But you know, it's fun to like go back. It's funny when like stuff's old but it's new for you. Like that's music like that is so sick, because like you said, like and I'll never ever put myself in the same category as a Danger Mouse, even though you put my name in the same.
Hey man, I said it.
I'm like mad at you for saying that, by the way.
I know. I thought about this in the shower. I was like, God, you know what? That's
a heavy thought.
Where I'm getting my music from.
Well, cheers. It's fun because like it's just a never-ending vault of history, right? And it's like not everybody is into it, which is cool. So I'm also stoked because like I hope that everybody that tunes in and watches the show or watches stuff like this is like, everybody's here because they want to be here. And if you're tuning in for 5 minutes, or you tune in for the whole hour, or you're like, go longer or whatever, like I don't know, I just think it's fun because it's brought me so much joy that I just can't help but, like, music and records specifically, collecting stuff, it's just so freaking fun.
Did you collect anything before you collected vinyl?
Pokemon cards.
What was your best card?
Oh, I got the hologram Mew, dude. You know,
Did you?
Yeah, I for sure had the hologram Mew. I was a savage.
You're lucky.
So I think it was probably like, I probably collected Ninja Turtle action figures first, because like, what's up? And then I collected Pogs, 90s kid.
I had Pogs.
Shout out to Pogs.
I went to a Pog birthday party once.
That's sick. Pogs might make a comeback, you know? Maybe I've got to. I don't know. I'm sure somebody is collecting like sick Pogs out there. There's probably like a podcast called
It probably exists.
It's called the Podcast. Oh my God. Why are we not doing the podcast?
We really screwed up. We got to go back to the drawing board.
This is it. I'm out.
Done. I'm over.
This show's done. So this is the last Sunday Spins thing, you guys. We're out. We're gonna get into Pogs, and then basketball cards. I got really into basketball cards in like middle school, and I'm not. It's weird because I'm like, I guess I'm a little bit of like a collector in that sense. But I like, you're not gonna walk in my house and see Pokemon cards. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna walk in and see, you know, my Reggie Miller rookie cards.
For those who do not know, behind the curtain that Adam's in front of is just a wall of Pogs. He's been collecting since he was a child, but he didn't want you to know.
It's just this whole apartment's made out of Pogs.
Vinyl is actually melted Pogs.
Somebody probably lives in a giant Pog castle, and
that'd be super cool.
If that person's watching, I want to get you on tuned in because we should talk. But no, records is definitely like the most serious thing I've collected, and I guess the most expensive thing too, besides surfboards.
Yeah.
I guess I kind of collect surfboards too.
Having so many records and having, it's weird to say, but having a deadline of when you need to know what you're going to play for Sunday. For those who do not understand how much time and effort goes into it, could you give us just a little snippet?
Whew, that's a good question. I'd say like 20% of it is like this weird abstract knowledge of like what's on that wall and kind of knowing where everything is. It's sort of this subconscious process of like really trying to figure out what mood I'm in, or what, like a combination of like what I'm listening to that week, what I have that I think people will enjoy. That the whole thing is that like summertime, right? Like I want the show to get people moving, or if you're at the Ringle Resort and you're chilling in the floaty, like, you know, you're having a good time cracking those Trulies, Cole.
Called out.
So that's why Toto by Africa gets played like every 15 shows, just to make sure Cole's paying attention. But like, I think on Wednesdays, I start kind of getting back into the mode where I edit my little video, like I put this little reel together, to kind of like it like helps, hopefully helps hype the upcoming show, but it also helps me like get in my mode a little bit. And then by Friday, I probably have some songs that I've set aside, either written down or physically like set aside, put in like a little corner of like, oh yeah, this record, I forgot I was trying to play this last week. I didn't get to it. It didn't fit in the right flow of the show, because my goal for every show is to kind of have, like you would be making an album or a live performance of any kind. It's got a kind of a build and some sort of central vibe. It kind of maybe mellows out again, and then usually I'm always going to try and end that thing on some sort of high note, or like I'm not going to put on like "Hello Darkness, my old friend" at the end.
Why not? That's a great song.
On a rainy day, I will. By like Saturday night, I pretty much would stay at home, which was easy, and just spend 4 hours just listening to music. Just not just sitting there like staring at my record player, but like put a record on, go through it, listen out of one ear and do stuff. And then it really comes together the morning of, which is cool because for me, it's cool because it's like, it's very much this is how I'm feeling in the moment. If I had 3 songs on there that I wasn't sure about, they either get more love or they get saved or they get scrapped. And then I've been going to Factory Records every Saturday because Dave has opened his shop and made it cool for people to go in and stay distant and safe and clean, and digging is a big part of it. So like, I don't really ever go in there with like a list of like, I want this song and this album or whatever, but like I'll find something in there every time I go because it's my favorite shop. And then I'll just go down another rabbit hole, and it's like, you feel like Alice in Wonderland. You're just like tumbling and then tumbling and and you're just like, this is, you're like, whee. So then I'll like have a set list picked on Saturday. I'll go to Factory and I'll be like, oh, well, whatever I had is not going to be as fire as this. Like, this stuff's crazy. Like, now I have to play these records. So sometimes I'm like getting stuff ready up until like an hour before the show.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It takes probably about 72 hours totally. Then I'm like thinking about it like actively, like Sundays. Which is weird.
You talked about Factory Records.
Yeah.
How crucial is it for those who are interested in vinyl to make friends with someone, or at least speak to someone in the record shop? Because for me, that was my biggest issue, like getting into vinyl, was it's so intimidating and you feel like you don't know anything. And these guys know everything. Like, I've been to so many shops where I pick a record and I know the history behind it, but the guy's like, do you know the history behind it? I'm like, yeah, sure. But like you were saying, you make a friend, you have Dave who's like, oh, well, you played this, you're going to love this. That's something that most everybody's not going to get. Right. Is it necessary to come out of your shell?
Oh, I think it's a beautiful thing if you can. I don't think it happens all the time, because there's still stores that I go into and it's like, it's a little awkward or whatever. And it's weird because it's a lot of times the intentions, I think, from somebody who's like an expert on something is hopefully they're good intentions, but it just comes out weird because you're so deep down the rabbit hole that like the context at which you understand these records is so different than somebody that's just getting into it. But that said, I think record stores are, if you're curious about music at all, not even necessarily like becoming homies with the people that own these stores is like my MO or my challenge. That's like, but it doesn't hurt. Like, I think asking questions is always, you're not gonna know if you don't ask, especially with this stuff, because like there's so many weird little nuances to stuff that I think the disconnect is that like when people walk into record stores and think they know everything and try and cover it up because you're embarrassed, like store owners see through that, and it just creates this weird like dynamic kind of thing where it's like, you're just trying to sell me on this record, and you're like, well, you don't know what the fuck you want to buy. And you're like, you're right, I don't. Like, like, what should I buy? Like, if you walked in there and you'd be like, yo, dude, I got $40 and I'm just starting a record collection, and here are my 3 favorite artists that I currently listen to, what would you recommend that I spend? And if they help you out, then epic. And if they don't help you out, fuck them.
find another one.
Go to another record store. You know what I mean? Like, because it's just weird, because like it's not necessarily maybe like the most immediately inclusive thing because it's super intimidating. I still get intimidated going into record
Yeah.
stores. But all you need, it's like that one thing is all you need is one person to be cool to you, and it changes everything. Because then every time I go to Factory Records, it's like you just feel like you're friends, and and it makes it easier and it makes it more fun. And then you're like, you know, Dave, this last week, I went to pick up some records, and I always try and do a little bit of digging too. And he goes, "Hey, do you have this?" And it was the Tom Tom Club record. It was a reissue on like this crazy vinyl, and Genius of Love was on there. And he's like, "Do you know this?" And I was like, like I know the two people from Talking Heads are in it, but like, I know it by association. But like, he's like, "Well, you know the song Genius of Love?" And I was like, "Genius of Love, Genius of Love." I'm like, if you go, yeah, I know, dude, it's my favorite song. It's just like they just sniff that stuff out, so you have to go know what, and even if you do know it, it's better to like be honest. Like that's the thing, is that honesty is like the key there, where it's like, no, hey, I don't know, like what's so sick. He's like, dude, well, this is the song that like all these people in hip hop have sampled, and it's got this like funky beat. And I go, oh yeah, I just watched this Crate Diggers episode, and Shepard Fairey pulled it out, and that's the thing. And Talking Heads is dope, so this has got to be dope. And he's like, do you want, like, pull it up on your phone and listen to it. I'm like, Dave, I trust you. Like, I don't even care what it costs. Like, it's like $24 or something. You know what I mean? Like, the trust thing is so cool.
Yeah, 100%.
It takes a while to get there, and not every record store is probably gonna like. They're not just like clamoring for people to be friends with. Because
there's a live version of that.
Oh,
if you haven't heard, it's pretty sick.
Well, what's so funny is that like I knew the song, but I didn't.
Everybody knows the song, but nobody knows who it is, because it's like, again, like Culture Club. You know, it's not something you would weird, obscure '80s thing. Unless you know, you wouldn't know. But you know you've heard it. Like everybody knows they've heard Carmen Chameleon, but they probably don't know. Oh, it's Boy George.
By the way, I got a 7-inch of Culture Club that's going on this week.
Did you really?
So, yeah, you're gonna lose your. You and John Zinn are gonna lose your shit.
I'm excited.
I think it's just cool to like be honest. Like it's cool. I think it's cool to not know stuff.
Yeah.
I think that's just a person. Like it's rad to be a rookie.
Yeah.
If there's people that don't want to teach you stuff, then that's cool, because somebody's gonna like take you under their wing.
For sure.
Or like at least give you like a little like boomerang through something.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa. And so I think if you put that out there and you put that hunger to learn something, which is exactly what I've tried to do. Like I don't know everything about music. Like I'm learning. So you helped me so much with my audio stuff. Like also, for those of you who don't know, like half the reason why the show sounds so good now is because of this guy. The Jason helped me figure out this audio interface thing directly into the thing. And I went down a YouTube rabbit hole. So like I had to want to do it, but I quality controlled it through this guy. And he's like, dude, you got it. It sounds great. Like
I got to hear it before anyone else, and I shit you not, everybody, my jaw dropped. Honestly, I swear to God,
it was so fun.
The sound that I heard coming through these headphones I'm currently wearing was better than my full house Sonos, and I was pissed off. But I'm so glad that we got it figured out.
So because if you haven't listened,
benefits. Everybody benefits.
So if you haven't listened to the show, there you go.
You had talked about Cole and the Ringles. Shout out to the Ringles.
Ringle fam, the fam.
But you had talked about, you know, curating kind of how you set the show up now for summer. That will change, I'm assuming, based off what you said. Can we confirm that you will kind of shape the show around, one, your mood, two, the seasons and what we continue to go through?
Yeah, this is the exclusive. I can go ahead and confirm that. No. Yeah, music for me is a weird thing. Like it's time of day specific, it's mood specific, it's weather specific, and I know I'm not alone in that, which is cool. So I think to be able to tap into that is going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to that. I think, you know, it'll be weird to explore that. Like, how does some of this stuff sound when it's dark at 5:30? Like, what's the show going to feel like if it's raining for, you know, a good majority of the people that are listening to the show? Like, are we bringing out a little bit darker themed music? Like, are we, you know, Miles Davis coming on the show a little bit? You know, is Interpol jumping in in the set list. You know, the Mattson too have a song called Black Rain. Like, you think I'm not going to play Black Rain on a day that it's raining? You're crazy, because that song is insane, and it's like it's gonna hit the feels a little bit better. So I think maybe the fact that the show has such a regular cadence to it, I can take that. I guess I would see it as a luxury, having it be a little bit contemporary, even if the music's old, because I'm gonna try and not everybody's in the same. I have friends in Japan that are watching the show, and Guam,
Hawaii, all over the place.
The UK, you know, like, so it's like, okay, it's not raining for everybody, but I think it'll be super fun to explore that a little bit, and hopefully people are excited for that, because again, it's something new and different.
Yeah, I think that's super interesting, but it also keeps it evolving, which I think the show has done since inception. Every week has been different. I think looking back, I guess one of my most favorite memories, and I called you the day after it, and I told you I had a dream that you and Donovan Frankenreiter were like curating and playing music for me in my dream, which was pretty sweet. Both very nice guys. But looking forward, as you know, the show continues to evolve, can we expect more artists on the show, more guest DJs? I mean, what's in store moving forward? I mean, the world's your oyster.
Great question. I love that Uncle Donnie made an appearance into your dreams, and it wasn't a nightmare.
Never once have I dreamed about Donovan until the day after that.
Well, yeah,
I'm not the only person.
Yeah, that was a special one for sure. That was sick.
Yeah.
Well, I think the format of at least right now, the show is obviously just on Instagram, because it's where everybody likes to hang out anyway. So it just makes it easy to be where the fish are. And so to answer that in one sentence, yes, I want to get more people on the show. I think this is probably a first step to manifesting that and going like, hey, the Sunday Spins isn't just me in my kitchen. I think that's a big thing that I want to, like, I play records in my kitchen all the time. The Sunday Spins is everybody else that joins in to be a part of that hour. That's the Sunday Spins. Like, I just happen to plug some wires in, but like, it wouldn't be special if there wasn't everybody else there. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to get some special guests on the show. I've been fortunate enough to be around a lot of different musicians that I frankly never thought I would get to like be around, let alone be friends with or friendly with, you know? So I think it'd be fun to kind of just pull the immediate Rolodex of people that I know that are involved in the music space. I think that's why I started here with you on this thing first, is how entrenched you are in music, all different kinds and all different spheres, from making music to the audiophile in you and the concert goer and the producer and that sort of stuff. So like, absolutely, because I also realize that, like, I don't know, it's just me on the camera, so it's nice to share the screen a little bit. Get out of the light a little bit. I think it's hard with the format of Instagram because it's not always the most conducive for like the dual bandwidth kind of thing. We tried to get my buddy Kahana on the show really early on.
I remember that.
He's the mastermind behind Sunburnt Reynolds, and just a wizard of a human. And I would love to get him on, even just like on this. Like, hopefully we can get him on Tuned In and chat, and but also do like a show. And I guess when the world opens back up too, that would be cool, because then we could be in the same place and he could like just put his records or his mix into the system and go. You know, I want to do like a Q&A with the Mattson too, and get Duffy on here and have Donnie go ham on his 8-track player again, and just I don't know, I just love surprising people with some stuff. It's fun. It's just fun, man. Like, I
think you do. You definitely do.
I hope so.
You definitely do.
It's cool.
And it's interesting, and I'm excited to watch it evolve and change. And
thanks, man.
Funky music and funky fits. I have this literally written down in my notes, because every time I tune into the Sunday Spins, I'm curious, what the hell is Adam wearing? Where did he get it? And Why is your style so much cooler than everyone else I know? That's my question.
No comment on
Like,
that one.
no, not at all. Come on.
Ah, I don't know, man. It's just fun.
As you dig around in record bins, you
Right.
also thrift. That overall suit you were talking about earlier, I know where you got that. I know what it is, but for those who don't, where do you get your clothes, Adam?
Oh man, they do go hand in hand. Digging is digging. Like
Yeah.
digging for records and being inspired by that music and seeing it so much. And trust me, like if you think the way if the fit on the Sunday Spins is satisfactory, you should look at some of the album covers that I find. You're just like, no one has more sauce than Brass Construction or the OJs
Parliament.
or come on, dude, the Isley Brothers. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me?
Oh my
Like,
God.
dude, Isley Brothers is just it. They're just so thank you, but it's all relative, man. Like, cause I see stuff and I'm just like, whoa, like you're talking crazy suits and like every time those people are performing, it's like it's on, and so that's the aspiration. Not that I mean, if somebody wants to make me an Isley Brothers style suit, well, we could talk, but I don't know. It's fun, man. It's just fun to be a goofball.
Yeah.
I just wanna, and it's just another touch point, I guess, that like it gives it a little bit more feel, right? Like I want to do a whole jazz night in a suit and tie.
You should.
Just
You
cause
totally
like,
should.
what's up? Like,
Yeah.
I think that shit's funny, man. But like, literally, it just comes down to like, yeah, digging for records and digging through clothes. Like today, I went to One Look Vintage here in Huntington, sick little record store vintage shop, and they've got both. Like you could walk out of there with this. I saw a body glove, like windbreaker jumpsuit thing, and I was so bummed it didn't fit me. But like, I walked out of there with 7 records and a drum machine
Yeah.
that I don't
That's
know how
super
to
sick.
that I don't know how to play yet. But we're gonna
Hey,
figure
we'll get there. We'll
we're
get
gonna
there.
figure out a theme song. But like, they go hand in hand. It's the best, dude. It's so fun.
But yeah, so I totally understand where it comes from. But for those who don't know where the yellow Guess overalls come from, now you do.
I got those on the road with Donovan actually. So yeah, that guy's a big influence for sure. Going on tour with him is every city we go to, like, that guy's a madman, right? Like, he plays a show every night when pre-COVID, right? Like BC before Corona, he was playing 30 stop tours in 30 days. Like, so you're in Boise and then you're in somewhere else in Fort Collins and then Boulder and whatever. It's like you'd wake up, get off the tour bus, and the first thing you do is, well, you got to find a coffee shop, and then where's the nearest record store? Like, it's just the coolest way to get a pulse on a new city. Like, I think that's the thing I miss about traveling the most is going to new cities, and like that's how I get the like, yo, is this place cool? Like where's the record store? If they don't have a record store, I'm out of here. Like, I don't even want to be in this city. You go to Boise, Idaho. Like, you say Boise, and people are like, cows. You're like, yeah.
Potatoes.
Also a big city and one of the sickest record stores I've ever been in.
Yeah.
And an underground arcade place with like pinball and Street Fighter and stuff. And like, it was just like, whoa. So then, yeah, where do you're gonna go to Boise if you're just looking for Starbucks and like, I don't know, a Forever 21, you're going to be pretty bored, right? Yeah. So it's like,
for sure,
tap into the main vein of that city, because that's where like used record stores especially, right? Where there's like people have dropped those records off and they've either been in that city for a long time or have been passing through, and it's just a cool underground current to kind of like jump into. And so many of my records I've gotten on the road.
Yeah.
This Paola that Wade and I wanted to find for a year and a half, I found in Denver.
Really?
I'll never forget that. It's like a $3 record, but we looked for a year and a half, and I had to go to Denver to find it. Crazy. Anyways, you were going to say something.
Who in Denver threw it away? When you're out and you're looking for things and you're in a foreign country or a foreign state and you find that record you've been looking for, do you hold that onto your chest like this when you fly? Or?
Pretty much, dude. I use them as a seat, like a booster seat, so I can like get
It's
up.
a good idea. Make you taller so you can see when the stewardess is coming.
Yeah.
Everybody get your little glass of Pinot.
Exactly.
Smart boy.
Everybody always says stack your records like this. I'm like, no, stack them like this and then sit on them, because they're better when they're like taco shells, because then you can eat them.
It makes sense.
Don't do any of that. Traveling with records is a bitch.
Yeah.
Having records in your kitchen is a bitch. Like, it is an impractical thing. They take up space and they're heavy. Like 40 records is like
The damage from the sun. They are the worst things in the
they're
world,
terrible,
but they're so awesome.
oh, they make me so happy. Traveling with them is interesting. Like, one, just if you know you're gonna go shopping for records, bring a second suitcase that's empty.
Yeah. 100%.
Number two, pack less clothes. Wear the same shirt 3 times in a row, because you're like, well, I could either put 4 Rolling Stones bootlegs that I got in Vegas in this suitcase, or I can look cool. You're like, I'd rather smell bad and have records any day. Put that on a t-shirt. You know what I mean? Can't wait till we can do this in person.
I know, right? I'm so stoked for you to like sit here without a mask in my home.
It's like drunk history meets between 2 ferns. I have 1 fern.
If I get a fern, I've got a fiddly fig in the back here.
This isn't even real, by the way.
Well, that's real. All of these are real.
We're gonna edit this out, but this is a imported Japanese cactus. Looks like a palm tree, but it's not.
Speaking of your background,
Uh-oh.
where do you find the things that are behind you? Because those are super funky vintage.
Yeah, the trinkets.
And I think that's something that people probably think about when they watch the Sunday Spins, because it is you in your kitchen. But you in your kitchen has a lot of really interesting things to look at. And that's my favorite part when we could hang out and go into your house, is like you always have, and you've always inspired me in my house. I mean, I don't have half as many knickknacks as you do. But like, there's so many random things in your home and things that you've collected. Where and why, and I guess why? Why is the main question. What inspired you to collect so many random, interesting things, and what is the meaning behind them to you? Because I know that you're a very sentimental guy, as I am.
Yeah.
You collect things and you hold on to things.
Oh.
What are they and why? Like, where'd you get that? No, I'm serious. Where'd you get the Rolling Stones phone?
The tongue phone? I don't know, dude. I don't know where I got that. A lot of the things they do happen on the road. Donovan is, again, the best, worst influence ever, right? Like, it is maybe the sentimentality of what those things, not only what they look like, but where you got them is a big part of it too, and who you were with maybe when you grabbed them. It's weird to try and like remember that stuff too. A lot of the stuff that I have is older stuff, right? Like this Yourke's AM/FM stereo double cassette recorder / player, digital tuning, electric digital clock, graphic equalizer, phono. I got for $100 in Pomona.
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's awesome.
It's wild. And this is actually the one of the 2 first turntables that the Sunday Spin started on.
Yeah, I remember.
I had the Kenwood that my stepdad had given me, and then I had this thing right next to me. So it's Sunday Spin started on 2 separate turntables with 2 separate sets of speakers. Just janky, baby. But
those were just projecting into the room.
Right.
So you were blaring at your neighbors, and then it was just being recorded through the iPhone.
We were young, and we were 9.
Come a long way.
Oh, thank you, sir, for this.
But I love that tongue phone has become synonymous with the Sunday Spins just due to merchandise.
There it is.
It's awesome. But it's like people, like, who's gonna, look at their sticker and go, oh, that's a Rolling Stones phone. Where the hell did Adam get it? Hopefully everybody.
Got it. Yeah, I guess. I don't know if it's, I guess there's probably like a sticky pun there, right, with the Rolling Stones. Like it's...
trying to segue back into vinyl, but also talking about the Rolling Stones.
Yeah.
My most favorite gifted vinyl I've ever been given was from you.
Oh.
And it was the extended disco version of Miss You.
Best song ever, dude.
I fucking love that song. Had never, ever seen it in vinyl. And then you were just like, hey, I picked this up for you on the road. And I was like, what?
Dude.
Still love you solely because of that. But My question for you, without plugging names, because I don't want to make people upset, what is your most prized gifted vinyl?
Oh man. One, I love that that's your favorite. My favorite gifted vinyl. Oh, dude. It's really tough, man, because I've been given vinyls, given records and given like in so many different contexts and ways. Like
Yeah.
once it started becoming like a thing for me, like it became Christmas presents and birthday presents or just like a hey, just because kind of thing. And those are the best presents, right? When you just hey, I think you'll love this. The most recent one, and I have so many favorites. And I'll just, dude, my stepdad and my mom were going through the garage, and I think Mark found a box of records that were my grandma's. That how did I not know those were in my mom's garage? Like I'm like what? Like my mom and I were baffled. Like rest in peace, Grandma Elaine. Like didn't even know Grandma Elaine had records. One, so like it just was this unraveling of like, whoa, like what?
Yeah.
She had records this whole time. Like we didn't listen to records in my grandma's house. They were just in a box. And maybe
Yeah.
my mom had just grabbed the box accidentally or whatever. Because if I knew that they were there, I would have been like, "Hey, you, can I have those?" Like, I still am just like, I'm like too scared to even play them. And it's silly because
Yeah.
they've just been sitting there. But it was so cool because then it just sent me down this mental rabbit hole of like, okay, like how did she buy these records and did somebody give these records to her? Where
Yeah.
like my grandma, they all grew up in LA, you know, and I can't even imagine that environment of when these records were new and technologically advanced and
Stereo.
stereo, you know, you're just like, what? And there's some really cool records in that. And so that
Yeah.
was such that I cherish that, you know. And then my dad will just randomly drop off a record here and there. Hey, I got you
That's
this.
so cool.
And it's like funny shit where it's like Bachman Turner Orchestra, BTO, you know,
Yeah.
like taking care of business is on that. Like
It's a
what?
great song.
I love that
It's a
shit.
great song.
Donovan's, you know, again gifted me with a few really awesome Stones ones. I've got a
Yeah.
Korean box set. Okay, if we're those are 12 inches, and then I have favorite 7 inches. So
Just as
Duffy,
many favorites as you need.
I know you were like, don't name names, but like it's fun because like you named my
Yeah,
name.
for sure.
You named my name when I
I
gave you this
did.
one.
I
So
did. I instantly, put you under the bus. So throw them
so
all under.
Duffy gave me the first copy of the White Blind's new 7 inch that they put out. It is just so cool. It's orange, it's translucent, and he's like, hey, this is the first pressing. Like this is the number one. And I was like, what? Like, cool. Like every record you get gifted is
Yeah.
special. So I can't pick a favorite. So there's 5.
I love it. I love it. To plug, your local record store, anyone who's watching this at this point, go to your record store, make friends, talk to people, experience what there is to experience, because if you don't, you never will, I guess. I don't know.
If you're not into music, then it's hard to be like, go to your record store. But like, I think
Yeah.
it's fun to, because I go in there and I don't like, it's not like I bro down at every record store. Like I don't,
Yeah, no, not at all.
most of the time,
There's what's the one in Santa Barbara that we used to go to when I lived up there?
Warbler.
Warbler. Never, ever talk to that guy. Ever. I swear to God. And not to like throw Warbler under the bus. Great selection. I got Rank by the Smiths, which was like a weird
Yeah.
promo copy of a live album that the Smiths did.
Oh
That
my
guy,
God.
never talked to him.
Don't-
But
eh,
hey, don't throw down with everybody.
yeah, exactly. It's like the more you know. It's like talk to every guy at a record store. The more you know. Don't talk to anybody at a record store. You really do just have to feel it out because
Yeah.
there are some shops where like, I mean, those guys and gals are in those shops every day by themselves. Like, it can be a solitary thing. That's also the weird thing too that I don't want to be like a hermit that just listens to his records by himself. That's
Yeah.
probably a big part of why the Sunday Spins is a communal thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think to support small music stores like that or small music, like even if it's musical instruments or mom and pop stuff like that, I think is so important. It gives everybody a sense of pride, and it helps the local economy and community, and it's a lot of fun. Like, I look forward, I used to do this little triangle, I guess on Sundays or Saturdays. I would have nothing to do in the afternoon, and I would hit the 3 or 4 record stores in Orange County, and every shop is different. Every selection or the selection of music that they carry is different. Everybody in there has different music knowledge. A lot of the times when I go to shops, like, I don't talk to everybody. I don't go in just guns blazing on questions. But that's because I know where I can kind of like learn and feel my way around a store a little bit better now. Yeah. It takes practice. Like, when you first walk into a record store, it's just like you said, like, you looking at my wall, you're like, where is everything? And I just go, oh, this is here, and this is here, and this is here, and this is here. And you're like, oh, it's not so intimidating. You know, I think it's important to want to, I just nurture that adventurous spirit, I guess, a little bit. That's what it's really all about. Yeah. It's just an exploration. There's no rules. Nobody can tell you what kind of music to collect, right?
No, not at all.
And you shouldn't be embarrassed about the kind of music that you listen to. And chances are you can find it or whatever inspired that music anywhere. And if you can't, look harder.
Yeah. There's a time. I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No, that was it.
No, I was just going to say, when you're saying you can just find music anywhere, there was a time where I would wake up in the morning every day and check BandCamp. Because BandCamp is, if you're not familiar, it's a website where local bands can put their music on the internet and broadcast it to the world. So I would check BandCamp, and on BandCamp, there's recently purchased music that scrolls by, and it like literally goes at 100 minutes or 100 miles a minute, because it's the whole world buying music. But I saw one, and I saw the album cover, and I was like, that looks sick. Clicked it, looked at it, and it was Bambara Mystic Soul, which was music. It was 1970s Burkina Faso, like, psych rock. And I bought the record from Germany. They shipped it to me from Germany. So cool, and it's one of my favorite records. So there's like so many different ways of, going out and finding music. And you don't have to go through and rifle through your local record store, which I definitely recommend doing. Yeah. But if you don't have that available to you, let's say you live in a place, as Adam said, a city where there's not, a record store that has good music, well, that's fine. The internet exists, and that's awesome. You can find music anywhere. And you don't have to, buy it in vinyl. If you don't have a record player, then download it on MP3, because I have it on MP3 too, and I listen to it there as well. Yeah. But it's like, just actively seek music, I guess. Yeah. Because you're not actively seeking music, you're actively seeking culture. Because, as I said, Bambara Mystic Soul, I didn't even know that Burkina Faso was a place until I heard that.
I don't know how to spell it, so.
Don't put me on the spot. Yeah. Because I have no idea. Yes. But, no, it's just like, in the effort to pursue something else outside of your bubble and what you're familiar with, go to a record store, dig through a bin, pick a record that's $3 or $1 that you have never heard of before, take it home and put it on.
That's how it
because
starts.
Some of the best music I've ever heard have been dollar bin, random, anything.
I don't know. Things also find you. There's people that are super cosmic about it. You don't find records. Records find you. And maybe that's true. I think if you're in something long enough, whatever it is, like, I think it's like a, it's a really interesting thing. It's just like, the more you dive into anything that you're passionate about, the more things you're going to get exposed to. And it ends up being this self-perpetuating machine of magic if you're just open to things. And then, I guess it's so funny because, there's probably people that listen to the show that know the songs I'm playing and know more history than I do about it.
Or for sure.
I'm in this Patrice Russian binge, and my stepdad he was like, oh yeah, she played in this thing and also plays the piano. And I'm like, what? I just knew that she sang the song that Men in Black by Will Smith was the original sample for it. And that was like my shallow end. And then it was like, no, go a little deeper. Like, it's fine. Like, it's the same water. You're already in. Now devote yourself to this a little bit more. And that's rewarding and has been rewarding. And hopefully it inspires people to not just, I'm not here to like try and get people to buy records, but
Yeah,
just pursue the things that they're passionate about and treat it like that. Like use the model of that as maybe the
for sure.
exercise where it's like, if you're passionate about something, don't think twice about it and just go, just do it. Cause that's all this is. That's all. I mean,
Yeah,
we don't know what we're doing. Like this is just fun. It's just cool cause it feels good.
yeah,
And right now, especially with like, if it feels good, it probably is good. You know, like don't overthink it. Don't overdo it. It's just music. It's silly. Like it's a silly thing, but it's never ending. You know, I don't think there's a perfect way to collect records or a perfect way to play them or share them, but it's all worth exploring, and that's the beauty of it. And
yeah.
like so it's like,
That's the thing.
and
That's the
that
thing. You know, it's sharing a passion.
it's
You know,
so
it's not
important.
like I don't want to do it by myself. To quote a Chris McCandless thing here,
Wow.
happiness is only real when shared.
Into the
If you're
wild,
gonna
Mitch.
go out and yeah, I've actually got a tattoo on my arm here.
That
One
you did
mile,
that just for the show?
just for the show,
Wow, man.
just for
That's
the show.
Else Magazine dedication, folks.
Devoted. No, but honestly, it's a passion of mine. It's a passion of yours, and that's why we have always connected on music. And
Right.
it's always fun for us to talk about music and like go out to record stores and geek out. Somebody who has no experience in music
Mm.
shouldn't be afraid to come up to somebody who does know how to play music and
Yeah.
or anything or know about music. You should be like, oh well, hey, I like this. What else is there? Because music is like anything else.
Right.
If you're willing to look,
It's
it's
also
there.
like totally, and to that point, it's like, but it's not cool to know more than somebody and then rub it in that person's face. Like, and
Yeah.
that's weird because I feel like it happens in a lot of things. Surfing is maybe even more guilty than music in that standpoint,
Yeah.
and the inclusivity of surfing.
Yeah.
Like, baloney, don't give me that. Like we have a name, like there's a name for people that are rookies. Like, you ever heard the term kook? Like we
Yeah.
like surfers went out of their way to just to come up with a universal nickname for people that are novices and shame them. I think it's garbage, right? It's funny if you use it in like a self-deprecative way, maybe, or like
Yeah.
a
I'll call
harmless.
myself a kook, but I don't call other people kooks
But in general, it's funny when
often.
like music is super intimidating in that sense because it's like it's like it's weird because like once you get good at something, you're like really proud of how much you've progressed, that you take pride in that, and then you're like, well, people were dicks to me, sort of. It's never this overt or
Yeah.
this black and white, but like, you know, it's hard for me to get this good, so now I've got to like, this is the way it is. You got to pay your dues and you got to like earn your
Yeah.
respect. And it's like, yeah, but like you also, that's the thing, is that's what's been so cool for the spins, is that the people that know more in my immediate circle, the people that know so much more about music than I do, have seen whatever they've seen in my efforts to do this show, that they're like, hey, try this. Not like, oh, what do you, like, you know, and that is life changing. That's like the
Yeah.
biggest thing. The encouragement factor is there. So I want the Sunday Spins to be able to do that for anybody that watches the show, whether you're make your own playlist on Spotify or don't know that much, don't even really like music that much, but like, it's strange to think of things that can be super intimidating. And I guess a goal of mine would be to deprogram that a little bit, the apprehension of getting into that stuff, and or the embarrassment factor or whatever. It's kind of, like I said, it's kind of cool to be new at stuff. I think that's what's helped me
Yeah.
try and push the show as much as I have. Or I don't know, it's at the end of the day, it's not that serious. Like, it's not a music
Yeah.
shouldn't be something that stresses people out. Just because,
Yeah.
and people, some people don't even like music. Like, that's cool, you know. I can't imagine my world without it, but I'm not going to shame you for having a different view. And it's a humbling equalizer, and that's what being able to like come together for this stuff, I think, is cool. It's cool to share that, and it's weird that like things that other people make can like be so many other things for other people.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe this can follow in that footstep or whatever, you know, like
When you were talking about how, you know, music can mean so much to you, but it's someone else's work. right? So like you're taking all this time to curate, and you know, you are the artist behind that. Whether or not you're playing someone else's music is, you know, not relevant. But
Right.
the fact that you're giving us a curation of other people's music and giving us something to feel, whether or not we feel what you're feeling, is hallowed ground, I would say. But no, I'm serious. I'm serious, dude. Like, not everyone is as geeky about music as us and doesn't like feel the same way about it that we do. But like, I would assume, you know, like for instance, when I put on the Sunday Spins, I put it on my TV and I put it throughout the house. And I just play it and I carry out my normal life, right? I'll be grilling, doing whatever. It's Sunday. I'm having a good time. And I'm hoping everyone's doing the same thing. Yeah, but we're all in this communal place where we're hearing music together. We're experiencing something new, because whether or not you've heard the song before, you've never heard it in the way that it's being projected at you at that time. Right? Which is something that's very, it's hallowed ground. It's, you know, it's a new experience, and it's, you know, it's a Sunday. It's semi-religious. It's a good time. Like, it's a really, really cool thing. My question, I guess, for you would be like, when you're making this and you're flipping through comments, because I know that you're like playing records and you're reading and you're interacting with the crowd, it has to hit home. You have to feel something. And we all have to feel something, right? Like, no one's just putting it on. And maybe they are. Maybe someone like accidentally hits, you know, Adam Walker's Live, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Oh my God, I'm
realistically
so sorry if you accidentally stumble into that feed.
Realistically, though. But everybody else who's at this point made it this far. Right. And cares enough. Like, we care enough to be there and hang out with you and put you on our TV and like interact, etc. At this point, we've been in fucking quarantine forever. There's no live music. There's no shows we can go to. There's nothing where we can like experience our friends. But when I log into the Sunday Spins every Sunday, I know that I'm going to see my friends, and I'm going to meet new friends. I'm going to goof around with people, and we're all going to throw shit at you, and you're getting all of that on you. So you're taking everyone's weekly offload at once. How the fuck do you deal with that?
It's so
what the fuck is the Sunday Spins?
I love that, dude. It's a great question. It's funny because it's weird. The format is a large reason for the feeling of things that I feel, because it is a little bit like being on the moon. It's a one-way mirror. Like, I don't know if a lot of people don't realize that on Instagram Live, but like when I'm on Instagram Live, I just see me. Yeah. And then I see the comments, and it's your name and whatever thing you got to say. So like, it's a weird little bit of a leap of faith in the sense that you're like, okay, like, are people even going to enjoy this? And there's a little bit of that thing on the one shoulder. You're going like, okay, bro, like, what are you doing? You know, in a self-conscious sort of way. That's just part of the process. And then the other part of it, and there's technologically, there's also a 15-second gap between what I say when you hear it, which when I learned that, it changes the way that you have to act, right? So it's this constant stream of consciousness, very, very in the moment, immediate thing. And me, I love that. I love things that you cannot reproduce. Yeah. I've always
very organic.
I love that. Photography for me is like that. I'm not a studio photographer. I don't we have some nice lights in here. Hello. But like I don't like repetitious stuff. I like the immediacy and the specialness of having something that could never, that moment was that moment, and if you were there and you've had it, holy shit. It almost defies words. That's the aspiration. Now, whether or not I can recreate that for somebody else, I don't have control of. So the thing that I've tried to learn is, if I'm having fun, for me, that's the most important thing. Like, this should just be fun. It's not meant to be serious. That's always the check of like, and I feel like a lot of musicians or artists or anybody that creates, you have to, some things you create because you have to, and other things you create because you want to. This started as a want to, so that's the way it should always be. And I think when I see the interactions and to hear you say the way that it makes you feel and what it represents to you, it's overwhelming for me. I'll finish the show, and if I feel good about the way it is, I'll feel some type of way after the show. Sometimes I'm drained because it's just like, it's so much multitasking. And other times I'll go for like 2 hours and I'm like, I'm good. And I'll do 100 push-ups. I won't do 100 push-ups, but like, I'll like,
100?
no, you know what I mean? But like, I'm like still on the high. And other times it's like, whoom, like, but then I'll like, if I finish on a high note and somebody else sends me a text message about, dude, I can't believe blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's the best feeling in the world. It's so much fun to share that, whether it's people are tuned, like the support has been insane. And I guess that's, if anything, is just like, just a huge thank you to everybody that's watched it, because I know obviously like it's entertainment for some, but like for me, it's so special to get the interaction and the reaction from people. If you post a photo or you text me on the side or you think about it in the shower or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's humbling to occupy that space in your heart or in your mind, because there's so much other crazy shit going on right now. To have any sort of emotional real estate in people's lives right now is the most special thing in the world. And I don't take it for granted. And I hope that people sense that, because I really do appreciate the thing that this is. And I just appreciate it for what it is. It is a chance for us to get together. And I'm trying to figure out ways then when this world opens back up to bring this out and do it in person. What does the Sunday Spins look like when people could show up? What does it look like in a public place? What does it look like at your house on your balcony? What does it look like on the 4th of July? What does it look like on a rainy day 4 days before Christmas? Like, it's so cool. So I think if a handful of people feel a fraction of what you just described, then I go to sleep at night and I unplug my equipment and go, that was fucking awesome. Like, how special is that to find a creative solution or a creative way to connect in a really freaking weird time, man. So it gets me all like sentimental about it, because it's just about sharing that joy, and I can't wait to do a few more things, and I can't wait to like, and I don't have to wait. We could do it right now. I could do it next week. It's like, it's cool to have control over it, sort of, but then also like not. It's like, it's just gonna go where it's gonna go. So I don't know.
That's awesome though.
It's a good question. So I don't know. I guess if that's like that's it, man. I'm just grateful that it's fun. You know, I like collecting records on behalf of other people's enjoyment just as much as my own. So that's what the Sunday Spins is for the people, dude. Wu-Tang. It's for the children. Wu-Tang's for the children, and the Sunday Spins is for the people. You know? So like, the W, baby.
I could ask you 1,000 more questions, and I'm sure that this will go to episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We'll continue to go. I think that the way that you just spoke about the Sunday Spins is probably a really good way to end it.
Cool, man.
Because that's you know, if I had to ask you the question, what the fuck is the Sunday Spins? Just answered it right there. So I'm stoked to have had the opportunity to be here. I hope to have more of these, and I'll see you and everyone else on the flip side.
On Sunday, baby. Thank you all. Thank you, Jason, sir. Thank you, man. You're the best, dude. I love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for doing this, and yeah. We'll see you Sunday live at 5. Do we do like a little outro dance right here? Like,
I don't know. Should we do a dance?
We should do a dance.
I'm ready.
Okay. Sunday Spins in ESLE magazine. We're talking tuned in. It's the Tuned In Show on a dee-dee-dee-ba-da-da-da-dee-dee.
Well, my little kumquats, there you have it. Episode 1, the launch of Tuned In. I hope you had as much fun as Jason and I did for that. Jason, thank you for being a good sport. Thanks for doing that. You guys can expect Jason on the show every now and then, you know, if he's willing to oblige. Speaking of, if you know anybody that you think I should talk to or rap out with or link up with for Tuned In, drop me a line. You can either send an email to thesundayspins@gmail.com. You can direct message me on Instagram @thesundayspins, or send a carrier pigeon circling around Southern California and have them drop it off at my door. Anyways, guys, I'm Adam Walker. I'm your host here. Thanks so much. And until next time, be safe, be good, dig deeper, and much love.